Hello, this is Grian, and welcome to another video. Today we're doing another video inside of Hermitcraft Retribution. We are on part 3, chapter 10. And yeah, I'll be reading this chapter to you. Yeah, if you haven't seen the past videos about the story and you don't want to be spoiled, maybe you should go back and read those first. But if you don't care, then I'm all for that too. But yeah, there is a playlist in the description where all the stories are in. So like if you do want to go check them out, yeah, you can. And I even added a little page on my channel banner. Like page on my channel page. Sorry. My channel page where I have all the Clockwork Chronicles stories in one little list. It doesn't have all of them, but most of them. And I have made sure to link every playlist through role playing. So yeah, that took a while to do, but if you guys enjoy these stories, and I don't see a problem with it. But let's get going. Chapter 10. It was late in the afternoon when the hermits and protectors were finished. Grian was sitting in the main room with Scar and Impulse, with the girls and Isaac, while the girls and Isaac helped Sam with the finishing touches. Julius was already long gone, having said farewell to the group while they were hard at work. Grian watched the water from the column of glass slow down, hearing his friends talking about what they were going to do after. Can't wait until we go home, Scar admitted with a long sigh. I do enjoy it here, it's just I miss Jelly. It's only been a few days, Grian pointed out. A few days is too long. Scar shook his head with a small smile. She could be all alone and at the base without anything to eat. I don't think Pearl or Doc would let her starve, Impulse replied to its friend. Scar gave Impulse a small smile. I miss Pearl. Where has she been for the last week or so? Busy? Impulse shrugged, shaking his head. Probably helping her friends. How mysterious. Scar lifted his eyebrows curiously. She isn't the only one who has hidden friends. Grian giggled. Oh no, of course not. Scar chuckled, giving Grian a quick nod as he sat up straighter in his wheelchair. I just miss my furry friends sometimes. Grian giggled again. Give it time. You know we're not going anywhere until the interns get here. Yeah, you've got a point, Scar replied. Could I at least let Pearl know to give Jelly some extra snacks and cuddles for me? Impulse pulled out his communicator, almost like an offering. Sure, why not? She's probably wondering where we are anyway. Scar's eyes brightened as he took the device, typing in a few chords before it came to life, when he frowned. Where did you get this? Polly had some spare handy, Impulse mused. She gave me a box of them to give away if needed when we start the internships. Wow, neat, Scar replied as the voice came through. Oh, hey, Pearl. How's everything going? Okay, all's good, Pearl said simply. What have you gotten yourself into now, Scar? Oh, nothing much. Just in the lovely world, you know. Hanging out with friends. Scar chuckled. Are you home? Yeah, Dot gave me a call saying I needed to get home to watch Jelly, so she wouldn't be alone. Pearl said calmly before chuckling. She misses you. I miss her too, Scar proclaimed, his eyes growing wide. How is she? Doing well, Pearl stated matter-of-factly. She's a rowdy little beast, she is. Scar smiled. What about you? Are you friends secure? Everyone is safe, Pearl replied. Both of our friends. Scar looked over at the others. Grian smiled. Well, we just wanted to check in on how you were doing. Grian and Impulse also say hi. Hi! Impulse said cheerfully. Grian laughed. They wished the hermit well before ending the call. Scar handed back the communicator to Impulse as his friend pocketed his device. There's so much you want to do, isn't there? So much, and yet none of it is safe to do, Scar groaned with a shake of his head. I know Campbell wants to go after the boys, but what more could he want? I don't know, Grian admitted, kicking his feet back and forth on the bed. But we'll figure it out. That and your nightmares, Impulse pointed out. Not the only one, Grian retorted with a bemused smile. No, you're not, Scar agreed, with a weak smile. Before Grian could add anything more, he heard the sound of footsteps behind them. Grian turned, seeing Sam entering from the hallway with a small smile. He was holding his communicator in his hand, a voice coming from the speakers. I told you this would happen, Samuel, the man's voice snapped to the device. Your choices have consequences, and now you've lost your home, your father, and your friends. Sam didn't say anything. His Impulse held out a hand. Sam handed the device to Hermit, and Impulse fiddled with the device quietly. Are you even listening to me? Oh, I'm listening, Sam agreed simply, his tone bare and empty. Don't you care about the innocent lives that were lost? Everything was destroyed, the man insisted. I know my father would rather see me do what I want to do than live in fear, Sam said firmly. He wouldn't want me coming to save him if it meant putting one of my friends in danger. He might not have agreed with me, but he knows it's what I want to do. What if it was your brother? The man snapped. If you had to choose between the cat and your brother, and you could only save one of them, who would it be? Sam tensed at that, looking over at the hermits with uncertainty. Can I say something? Scar offered, scooting closer to where Impulse was working. Who is this? The man snapped. I thought I had told you that you had to be alone. You never told me that, nor made a promise, Sam pointed out. I tried to stop you from reaching me. I don't want to hear your threats anymore. Yet you keep coming back. You need to hear the truth, Samuel, the man sneered. You can't escape from what Campbell wants from you. He'll make you watch as everything and everyone you love is destroyed before finishing you himself. Oh, that sounds familiar, Impulse mused quietly. Scar giggled. You know what, mister? Scar scooted closer. You sound like many of our old friends. Mr. A, RJ, Gerald. Why should we heed your warnings when we've already been doing that for a year now? Has it really been that long for you, The man asked, before chuckling. The warning never changed. Only the threat. Well, I have a threat for you, Impulse spoke up. I've been able to unscramble your coordinates to find out where you are. If you try to contact Sam again, or any of my friends, we'll find you, and we'll make sure you regret it. Ah, the classic threat, the man chuckled. You can't possibly know where I am. You willing to risk that? Impulse warned. Are you? The man pressed. For all you know, I could be watching you right now, under very different orders. Julius isn't the only assassin you know of. We're going to tell Rose what you've been up to, Sam said matter-of-factly. And yes, I have done that before. This time, though, you're not going to get away with it. Am I now? The man snorted as the device crackled. You don't even know who I am. For all you know, I could be a mole working for myself. We're not going to let you bully our friends, Impulse snapped. Either you stop calling or you'll have someone knocking at your door. No, Impulse. You will be the ones who have someone knocking on your door, the man chuckled. Campbell's men aren't the only ones who want to get rid of you and your hermit friends. Grian gulped, meeting eyes with the hermit as Impulse tense. How did you know my name? You and the Scar sound quite similar, the man chuckled. I could tell because you'd be the one who would know how to find me. Perhaps I want that, perhaps I don't. It doesn't matter. Why, Campbell wants you and your friends to pay for humiliating him. There's nothing Sam or your protectors can do to stop him. Nothing. Grian swallowed, seeing Impulse shut down the connection, tossing it back to Sam. Got it. Tell Rose where he is. Make sure to be quick about it. Okay. Sam started pressing buttons, looking up to see Grian. You okay? Yeah, Grian muttered, hearing Scar pushing himself from the bed, rolling over to him. I think I'd get used to threats like that. There's nothing Campbell can do if we stick together, Scar assured his friend gently, putting a hand on Grian's arm. They can make all the threats they want, but we're stronger than them. Grian nodded, looking down at the floor. It's just that voice sounded familiar. I know it was distorted and all. Sam frowned. Familiar how? No, it might be nothing. Grian shook his head. It might just be my nerves. I made a promise to Skids and I plan to keep it, Impulse said firmly, getting to his feet. I'm not just going to stand here and let my friends get bullied around or attacked if I can help it. Grian nodded. Thanks. Impulse gave the hermit a smile, nodding to Sam before the boy slipped into Stampy's room. Impulse put a hand on Grian's shoulder, kneeling to his level. When we get home, we'll be prepared. Julius said he'd keep in touch if he found out anything. We will get through this. Grian lifted his chin and smiled. Yeah, we will. Just need to figure out how. We will figure out how, Scar corrected, patting the hermit's arm. Remember, we're one call or thought away if you need us. I feel like I always need you. Grian smiled at his friend weakly. We need you too, Impulse whispered, squeezing Grian's shoulder before releasing it. Besides, we need to make the towers just as protected as the first one. Grian grinned. No explosions this time. Yeah, Scar nodded with a giggle. That's a pretty neat trick. Thanks, Grian replied, feeling his friend's gazes on him. Let's just hope their plan isn't to blow stuff up, rather than... Excuse me. Let's just hope their plan is to blow stuff up, rather than people. Impulse laughed. If they blow our stuff up, we have a right to do it right back at them. Besides, Doc's done it before, so I don't think they'll risk doing it again. Grian giggled. Yeah, maybe. I know. Chapter 11. Yeah. 5 minutes had passed since Sam had stepped into Stampy's room, as Grian laid down on the bed he'd been sitting on, looking up at the ceiling above him. The sun's rays trickled through the column, bleeding upwards from the water reflections below. The oak wood ceiling above him seemed plain and ordinary. Everything in this room was made mostly of oak, or a hint of sandstone in the hallways. Tired? Scar teased after a long moment of silence. Grian sighed. Not really, he admitted as he looked over, seeing the hermit roll up to him. You could see him both on the other side of the room, making one of the beds, fluffing up a pillow with precision. Just bored. Scar chuckled. Does that mean we get to blow something up today? Grian giggled. Not necessarily, although I don't mind taking a stroll. Not without me, a voice said it, and all as Grian jumped, sitting up as he found Caden coming from the the storage room. Grian's face warmed, realizing he hadn't seen his protector in days. Of course, I wouldn't do anything without you, Grian said quickly before he felt guilty about what he said. Okay, maybe I didn't entirely follow that. Caden sighed, giving the hermit a smile. It just means I can't let my guard down for even a minute with you. Sorry, Grian said in a small voice. I'm not mad, Grian. The man stepped forward. I'm glad you're safe. Grian smiled, tilting his head. So I'm not in trouble? Well, you did sneak away from your protector without telling anyone where you were going. The man raised an eyebrow. Then again, I've come to learn to expect that from you. Grian giggled. I just forgot. Really, I just felt like I needed to help find Liam. I couldn't just sit around and do nothing. Feeling helpless. Tears filled the hermit's eyes as his smile faded. It's my friend too. What matters is that everyone is safe, Caden stated firmly, nodding over at the other two hermits. I was still threats hanging over our heads, Grian admitted. Caden sighed. Of course, but it is my job to protect you after all. Yeah. Grian looked down at the bed he was lying in. I'm really sorry, Caden. I feel really bad about it. All is forgiven, Caden replied, crossing the room to put a hand on the hermit's shoulder. I'll do better in keeping an eye on you next time. Grian giggled, pushing the man's hand away. A smile on his face, his attention was redirected when he heard the door open. Sam stepped out of Stampy's bedroom, his expression firm as he pocketed the communicator. Something wrong? Scar asked quickly, reading the boy's face. Sam bit his bottom lip. I'm not sure if I should tell you. Was it Levi? Impulse frowned, looking up at the bed he was fixing. Sam shook his head. I was talking to my aunt. She gave me a disturbing report. The attack in my town wasn't the only thing that happened that day. It wasn't. Grian's eyes widened, feeling Caden's hand on his shoulder again. This time he didn't push it away. Sam swallowed, taking a seat by the bed next to Grian. Scar sitting beside the two of them. Impulse walked over, standing at the foot of the bed. There was a jailbreak at one of the prisons. Many of the prisoners managed to escape. What? Impulse's eyes widened well. Sam nodded. We're not sure who broke them out or how, but Bruce thinks it might have been a mole that somehow got through our security. Who escaped? Scar asked, meeting the boy's eye. Sam looked down at the bed sheets, tracing its finger along the creases and wrinkles. Sam closed his eyes, taking a slow deep breath. Cheryl was one of them. No! Grian squealed in horror. A feeling of dread filling. Excuse me. A feeling of dread filled him as he put a hand over his mouth to stifle the scream. The image of Julius looking down at him flashed in his mind. Vivid even more, thanks to Stuart. His thought echoed in his mind. Lucky Gerald is still locked up, otherwise Scar would be dead. Grian groaned, putting a hand over his face. Grian? Oh, sorry, no. Grian? Scar frowned, leaning over closer to Dermot. Is something wrong? It's Gerald, Scar. That man probably wants to kill you after what you did to him. Grian hissed, lowering his hand as he stared at his friend. This can't be real, this can't. Hey, Scar said softly. Grian felt something on his leg as he looked down. Seeing Scar had put a hand on his right leg. It's okay. If he tries to do anything, we'll just capture him again. Yeah, that was easy last time. Grian laughed nervously. He tried to kill me. He intended to hurt Impulse. Anyone else which we should know about? Impulse asked, keeping its eyes on Grian. Sam hesitated. Not sure. My aunt was only able to give me one name, but she did say that those who died escaped were treated as Grian groaned again, falling backward on his bed, hitting his head on the pillow. Please tell me I'm dreaming. I kind of wish you were, to be honest. Scar gave him a weak smile. But no, you're not dreaming. This is just... Grian moaned, shaking his head as he looked over at Sam, with a sad look on his face. I'm glad we know, Impulse finally stated, straightening. That way we can prepare. Sam managed a small smile. Yeah, if you need anything, you can let me know. No, you've got a job here, Impulse pointed out. Yet you'd be safe here, Sam replied. For how long? Impulse asked. There's a lot of doors and windows, and the windows aren't all properly secured, and our enemies have easy access through the waterfalls that run through this house. Sam bit his bottom lip, letting loose a smile. Okay. Baby, this is the safest place for you. That's why we're here. Why I'm here. Kate stated confidently, his eyes looking down at the hermit on the bed. Grian with his eyes. Our job is to protect you, for reasons like these. Grian nodded slowly. You'll tell Caleb and Blake. Maybe we can emergency entrance. Kate chuckled. I'll talk to Tom about that one. I can see what I can do, okay? Okay. Grian sat up in bed again. And yes, I will tell the boys. Kate replied calmly, as well as Messiah and anyone else who needs to know. I'm not going to let anything happen to you, Grian. Me neither, Scar said defiantly with a wide grin. What about Haley and Kate? Grian frowned, looking away from his escort. I'm sure they'd love to help, Impulse assured him. They are, in a way, interns themselves. So Kate might be a little young. My brother was 15 when he first met Stampy, Sam chuckled. She isn't far off. All right, Impulse smiled. We'll make this work. Yeah, Grian nodded, reluctantly, letting out a sigh. Where are the others anyway? Did they run off to play bingo or something? Sam laughed. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they did. Let's go see if we can find them. Grian managed to smile, getting to his feet as Scar rolled out of the way. He followed his friends down the hall, knowing Caden wouldn't be far behind. The hermit knew that the man would keep his promise. He'd helped him numerous times before. Still, Grian felt a knot of unease entangled within his stomach, the feeling that something bad was going to happen. Grian opened his eyes, finding himself in a dark room. He blinked, unsure of where he was. The air around him felt dry, stale. The hermit attempted to sit up. He gasped, hitting something hard, clutching his head, slumping back down with a groan. Is that the ceiling? He tried to move around to get comfortable. His face was barely bigger than he was. He felt cramped, trapped. Hello? Is there someone out there? Grian cried out, hearing his voice bouncing back at him, echoing in his ears. The darkness seemed to be some sort of barrier or shield, blocking him from seeing or hearing anything. Grian took a deep breath, preparing to call out again when he heard a small voice. The voice sounded distant, far away. Grian? Scar? Grian called back, hoping to hear his response, but there was nothing. Scar? You know where we are? What's going on? Can you hear me? Fear gripped the hermit's heart as he heard something. It felt distant at first, barely audible before steadily growing louder. Footsteps echoed through the room, or container he was trapped in. Grian pounded on the ceiling of the box with his fists. Let me out! Let me out of here! Oh, I don't think I'll do that. The footsteps stopped. The voice was loud, calm, forceful, smooth. Grian shuddered, pressing himself against the container, wanting to be anywhere but here. It's a shame I can't see this. What do you want? Grian cried, smelling the hint of something. What was that? Smoke. Smoke. Scar! Scar, can you hear me? Scar! I can hear you, Scar's voice replied, sounding even more distant. The man behind the voice laughed. I only think your friend will be able to hear your screams, Hermit. And there's nothing you can do to stop it. My friends will stop you, Scar declared defiantly. The man chuckled, seeming amused by the Hermit's confidence. No one can save you now, Scar. Not Caleb, not Grian, not Kate, not even Blake. No one can help you. You will regret what you did to me. You're going to wish Juliet's finished the job. Well, I'm going to. No! He screamed, hearing a scream just on the other side of the wall. Scar! Scar! He screamed again, pounding on the wall, tears falling down his face. He fought to break through, to stop the man from hurting his friend, to stop Gerald from finishing him. Gerald wouldn't stop, couldn't stop. He wouldn't stop. He couldn't stop. Scar! Grian, wake up! A voice shouted as the hermit gasped. His eyes were snapping open, feeling someone shake him by the shoulders. He looked up at the face of Haley, her eyes wide with alarm. The hermit sobbed. It's okay, Grian. It's just a nightmare. Oh, Grian groaned, unable to stop the tears falling down his face as she pulled the hermit into a hug. It's so real. Gerald. Shh. Haley said gently, pulling him tighter. Slow deep breath, G. Slow deep breath. Grian obeyed, closing his eyes as he tried to steady his breathing hard as he whimpered. That was when he heard noises next to him. He opened. And yes, child, I know. Seeing Impulse kneeling beside Scar, who was bolt upright in bed, his eyes wide with terror, catching his breath as well. Scar? Scar met the hermit's gaze and smiled gently. It's just a nightmare. Scar and Grian nodded, burying his face into Haley's shoulder. I'm sorry. Don't worry about us, Jeb said quickly from the other side of the room. Are you okay, G? Yeah. Grian let out a long, heavy sigh, finally pulling away, wiping tears from his eyes. I didn't wake everyone today. Julius wasn't wrong. Isaac swallowed. Her nightmare was intense. Grian nodded. Just like Liam's. I'm so sorry. Is everything all right? I heard screaming. Stampy's head poked out of the living room, concern on his face. Just a nightmare. A really bad one. Haley shook her head, rubbing Grian's back with a hand gently. Got it. Stampy nodded, looking over at Grian. It was fun. No, Grian whispered in agreement. I didn't mean to wake everyone. No one does, Haley said gently. Fortunately, I've been through this before. Yeah, Grian smiled weakly. I've helped very young children through horrible nightmares and terrors. She shuddered. Sometimes when they tell me to haunt my dreams. Grian shook his head slowly, pulling his blankets closer to himself. I'm okay now. I'll just go back to sleep. She smiled knowingly. You know, the library is open if you want to hang out for a bit. Grian shook his head, noticing Scar lying back down in bed as well. A look of concern came over Impulse's face, which didn't fade when Scar gave him a reassuring smile. He watched him for a moment, hearing Haley get to her feet, heading back to her own bed. Everyone else eventually went back to sleep as Grian lay awake, hearing even Scar's soft snores in the late night air. He stared up at the ceiling, wondering if he'd ever go back to sleep again after what happened. What even happened? Grian let out another sigh, forcing his eyes closed, hoping desperately to go back to sleep. And part of him fought back. Perhaps he knew that if he did fall asleep, he'd return to the box. He'd smell the smoke, hear Scar's screams of agony, hear Gerald's laughter echoing through him, seeping through every part of his being. No one could save you, Gerald's voice taunted. I'm going to wish Julius finished the job. Grian whimpered, even though he knew those words weren't meant for him. It didn't matter. He's still terrified. Well, that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to leave any comments of any thoughts and theories you might have on what happened next. Or any story ideas about different hermits. Like, I'm always open for ideas. Just, you know, like, this main story is fun and all, but, yeah. It's fine to do a little fun every now and then. Yeah. Thanks, guys, for watching. And I'll see you next